Hello again, I am Rob of Rob and Bay, and today I'm going to make a video in response to a comment that I saw to a previous video that I made where someone said something to the effect of they were part of a community where when monks disrobed, they were they had very negative feelings about that, and they heavily discouraged it. So I wanted to make a video about my own experience with having disrobed and then later gone back into the communities where I used to live as a monk. So I ordained at Abhayagiri here in California, and my experience was always that the communities were accepting of people disrobing. It wasn't seen as a black mark or some horrible shame. Certainly with the more senior monks, they were very understanding and encouraging. Anyone wanted to disrobe, and they talk with them one-on-one, just offer encouragement, see what's going on with them, because they don't want that monk to be suffering. And so, yeah, it wasn't seen as something shameful. And they never spoke in a way where they were outright trying to discourage them from disrobing, don't disrobe, don't disrobe, don't do it. That was never the vibe, ever, from any senior monk. The more junior monastics might try a bit harder. I remember when I was going to disrobe, there was this one Anagarika there. He's a very nice guy, very sweet guy, and he did go on later to ordain as a monk elsewhere, and he's still a monk now. But he was very keen on trying to encourage me to not disrobe and try this and try that, and he was very keen on me staying on as a monk, because I guess he liked me and he really cared about me, but it was never a negative feeling from him that he was disappointed in me or upset or anything like that. So again, no bad experiences here, and I can understand that. I can only speak to myself and my own feelings when other monks disrobed. So when I was more junior, when I was doing quite well, when I felt very secure in my monkhood and I could just keep going indefinitely, then when other monastics were going to disrobe or did disrobe, then it didn't bother me that much. To the best of my recollection, I can't recall ever speaking in a negative way to a monk who was going to disrobe. But I definitely recall instances where when I wasn't feeling so great and where I was having doubts, oh, can I keep doing this for the rest of my life? That's when I would try harder to discourage them from disrobing, almost as if by discouraging them from disrobing, I was trying to allay my own doubts about what I was doing. And perhaps it bothered me on a certain level because I felt oh, well, this person is disrobing and maybe I would like to do that too. And that was kind of a scary thing, and I didn't like that. And so I would try to discourage them, almost to help me. And that's not a great thing to do. And so that's just something that I caught myself doing on a couple of occasions. And I saw it a bit in some other more junior monastics, but it wasn't a community-wide thing. It's not something that all monks did all the time. And again, for the more senior monks, those who have been around for a long time and are hopefully more secure in their own monkhood, I didn't really see that at all from them. Anyway, after a monk does disrobe, in every community I've lived in, it has always been my experience that the monks are always very happy when that monk who disrobed comes back as a lay person just to visit. They get to see an old friend again, and they chat, and the feelings are always very good. There's never any feeling from the monks that like, oh, look at this failure coming back, what a disappointment. That is never something that I've ever seen expressed, regardless of whether I was a monk, seeing it from the monk side, or when I was a layperson, like now, seeing it from the layperson side, going to the monastery. The feeling is always one of friendship, and personally, I just feel good. I have spoken with a couple former monks. Both of them are Westerners, who have said that they felt not so great going back to the monastery. They were more senior when they disrobed, and I think their impression was that the monks, or maybe it was the lay people, they didn't really get into specifics, that they got the impression that there was like some disappointment in them. And I don't know if that was the case or not. They said that that was their experience. Only they can know the truth of it, I suppose. But that was not my experience. And I wonder if there wasn't perhaps some projection going on there. I can't be certain. But that's not the vibe I got from too many lay people. Again, I never got that from the monks, but the lay people, there can sometimes be stronger feelings coming from the lay people. Like there are a couple, like one who I never even met before, who said like, oh, what a disappointment that you disrobed. What was the point of ordaining then? And another who expressed disappointment as well, though not quite in such strong terms. And I think it usually is worse coming from lay people for some reason. Certainly if the comments on YouTube are anything to go by, lay people like to talk a lot of shit. But it is what it is. And eventually, though, like the lay people at the monastery just accept it, and there aren't any hard feelings. I keep going back to Abhayagiri, and I talk with the lay people and the monks there all the time. And I don't feel bad at all. I don't feel like I'm being judged. There was a monastery that I had spent well over a year at in Thailand, and I recently went to visit them with my wife. And when we got there, I hadn't seen the abbot now for like about 4 years, I think. And I caught him before we went, and I said, hey, this is Compiro, and he recognized me immediately. Someone had actually shown him some of my videos on YouTube, and he spoke with me a bit about that when we got to the monastery. Like, he was happy that I was doing videos about Buddhism on YouTube, and again, he just like encouraged me, like just to be a good lay person. And he actually told me and my wife that if we want to, we can actually stay in the monastery. Like, he had built this kuti, which was supposed to be for like very senior monks when they're coming to visit. And he said, oh yeah, you both can just stay in that kuti. So that was very sweet and supportive. Again, this is a monk with like more than 30 years in the robes, and he was just completely fine and supportive of me. My wife was going to ordain as a nun at a different monastery in Thailand, more down in the south, in the Ajahn Buddhadasa tradition. We went to visit them, and everyone there was just happy to see her again. They were happy to meet me. There were no hard feelings that like, oh, she was going to ordain and then decided not to. Everyone was totally cool. And again, that's generally the vibe in Thailand, because everyone has a lot of experience with people disrobing. Though you still do get some shit-talking lay people in Thailand as well. But they're in the minority. So don't give them too much thought. A very common question on all my videos where I talk about Buddhism is asking whether or not I will ordain again. And to that, all I can say is that right now I am enjoying my life as a layperson. I am behaving in a financially responsible way so that if I wanted to, eventually I can retire and live as a layperson for the rest of my life. I won't be in a situation where like I'm just financially destitute and like I have to escape back to the monastery. That's definitely not on my radar at the moment. But the future is uncertain, and I still go back to the monastery where I ordained at frequently. I like talking with the monks there. I still enjoy meditating every now and then, not as consistently as I should, maybe. The point is, though, that I don't have any aversion towards monasteries or monks or the rules. It's just simply not something that I want to be doing right now. So on the off chance that there is someone watching this who used to be a monk and disrobed and had a bad experience, I am sorry that that's been your experience. It's unfortunate. If you're someone who is just curious what other experiences have been with leaving communities, then here's my experience. It's been quite positive. I think with religious vocations, like whether you're a Buddhist monk or like a Catholic priest or a Catholic monk maybe, it's probably the only job in the world where if you don't do it for your entire life, if you leave at any point, quit at any point, it's the only job where people will look at you as if you're a failure. You can retire from any other job in the world. You can quit any other job in the world, whether you've been doing it for a year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You can quit at any time. I can't imagine anyone having anything bad to say about you for doing that. When it comes to a religious vocation, you will have people who have a problem with you not doing it for your entire life. And I think that does come from some insecurity on their part. And if you're on the receiving end of it, then you just have to accept that people feel how they feel. When it comes to religious convictions, then they can feel very strongly. And you just have to try to not dwell on it too much. And ideally find a community where people can accept that minds and hearts can change, that people might not want to be doing something for their entire life, and that training oneself for however long you can do it is an admirable and good thing to be doing, even if you can't stick it out for your entire life. If you can find a community like that, then I think that that's the one that you would want to ordain in. And in my opinion and experience, that is the norm, both here in the US and monasteries in Thailand. The monks don't really look down on you for disrobing. You don't have any problem with it. And if you come back to visit, they're happy to see you again. Good vibes all around. In my experience, that's the norm, and I think it's the minority who are going to look down on a monk for not being a monk for their entire life. So if you are someone who is wondering about this topic, I hope this video has been of use to you, and I hope if you have the desire that you can find a community that is as good as all of the communities I've ever been a part of. Bye.